And now the Hansons and Hiatus Podcast with Nate and Alexis.
Happy Friday, fuckers. It is episode 64 of the Hansons on Hiatus Podcast. I am your host, Nate, and this is my wife, Alexis.
Hey guys, how's it going?
And don't forget to support the podcast. Buymeacoffee.com/Hansons on Hiatus. You can buy us some virtual beers if you enjoy what we're doing, the stories, the information, whatever. We really appreciate it.
We do.
And like, follow, subscribe, share, whatever.
Follow.
Spotify, YouTube, Instagram, iTunes, and now YouTube Music instead of Google Podcasts. I'm sure if you are using Google Podcasts, they probably alerted you like 15 times by now. But
probably a bunch of emails.
Yeah, but yeah, so you can get there. And if as usual, if there's anything, any other platform that you listen on that you'd like us to be on, let us know, and I'll get us up there.
There's quite a few podcast platforms.
There's so many.
So many. I didn't realize until the other day I saw the options. Like, damn, pages and pages.
Mm-hmm. But the video ones are on Spotify, YouTube, and not Google Podcasts now. Is it YouTube Music? So you can watch us there.
Watch us be crazy.
But let's see what we left off last week. My mom's friend had gone out of town, so it's just her in town now. And we had actually, this happened right before her friend left, and we all went to our favorite Mexican restaurant, El Fogón.
Yes, gotta take a newbie to Mexico there.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, it's a good mix between like a locals and tourist spot. It's not tourist, but
right,
you're not going to get like if you went across the highway and went to some little taco shop or something and you brought a bunch of gringos in, you might get a couple looks like, what are you guys doing over here?
Yeah.
But this place is like, locals go there because it's that good, but it's not weird to bring us white people in.
Yes. Gringos and gringas.
Exactly. So it's their main thing is al pastor, which is pork, and it's on the spit, and they cut it off. Then you get the little street tacos, and they're like, I don't know, like 25 pesos or something.
Everything's
like
so cheap there. It's so good. It's like dinner and a show when they're cutting the meat off.
It's really good. Yeah, they're like $1.50. So I get 4 tacos. I usually get 2 al pastor and 2 sirloin. And what did you get?
You have actually, I used to get the quesadilla or just a burrito or something, I think, but now I get the 4 tacos. I like the 2 sirloin, the 2 al pastor, con queso, con piña.
Yeah.
Gotta have the piña on the al pastor. For some reason, it's like that sweet and salty. It's so good.
And the harina tortillas.
Yes, I like the harina.
Yeah. So we usually get 4. We kind of tell it's a wide menu. We usually tell people, get whatever you want, but these are like what we usually get, even though they're little street tacos.
They're filling.
4 of them will fill you up.
Yeah. I'm always full when I leave there. Like, oh, okay.
Yeah. So I wasn't really paying attention to what my mom ordered. Her other friend, Jackie, I think she ordered 1 taco and then 1 gringa, which gringa is kind of like a quesadilla a little bit.
Yeah.
It's 2 tortillas on top of each other with usually meat and cheese on the inside, not typically with vegetables. So maybe that's the difference between a quesadilla or something.
Yeah, I could see that.
Because sometimes the quesadillas will get like chicken and veggies and sauces and stuff on the inside. So.
Yeah, I was proud of her for trying something new because we're all like, oh, we're just gonna get some tacos. She's like, oh, I'm gonna venture out and try this gringa.
Yeah.
So that was fun to see.
It is always funny to me that people ask us to take them to like a quote unquote local spot, and then they ask us what we get, and then they don't get that.
Yes.
Not like you have to.
No.
You think if you're asking to go to a taco spot, and then you go to a taco spot, and then the hosts give you or get tacos, you think you just copy them.
Yeah.
And most people do actually.
They do. Everybody usually gets a couple tacos and then try something else.
Yeah. So my mom said that she had ordered 2 tacos, and so when all of our tacos came out, all 4 of mine came out. Both of her friends, all of yours came out.
Yep.
And she just got 1 little street taco that came out when she ordered 2. And she's
oh.
like, where's my other taco? And I was like, oh, I'm sure it's coming. Maybe, the waitress brought all the plates at once herself. So maybe.
Yeah. We asked her too. We're like, those tacos? She looked, she's like, yeah, see, it's coming.
Yeah.
We're like, okay, great.
Yeah. And so it had been a little bit. And I'm like, ah, shit. Like
they forgot.
Yeah. And, it's like, it always seems like the people that I don't know. Certain people always have bad service.
My mom gets bad service too.
Yeah.
It's just like their little tiny black mom cloud. I swear, it just follows them. My mom would
Your
usually.
mom's black?
No.
My little tiny black mom.
A little black cloud following them with just food options.
They
But
call
we
her
know,
Black Mamba.
Like that would always have to happen to Jason too. You know, always when they'd go out, everyone would be fine, but that one person would have.
Yeah.
You know,
And I'm always trying to be reassuring and be like, just relax. It's coming. You know, they're going to bring
They'll
it.
fix it.
It's a little bit slower here, you know, whatever. Then I'm like, fuck, it's not coming. Like it had been too long. And I was like, oh, let me ask for it again. And then she comes up the stairs and has the biggest taco
ever.
She ordered what is called the Taco Loco, which I actually get sometimes.
Yes.
And it's every meat they have in it. It comes with a thick cut slice of bacon on top and a pork chop on top of the taco.
I love that she thought it was like a little taco. And honestly, I really wasn't paying attention either when she ordered, but I heard her order 2 things and I'm just like, okay. And then once she started saying, where's my other taco? I'm like, oh no, what did she order? The big ass taco.
Yeah. And one of our friends, when we were telling her the story about it, she's like, didn't you realize that like all the other tacos are like 25 pesos and this was like 175?
Yes.
Like,
No.
didn't even realize it.
She was like, I thought it'd be one of those tacos that had like it said different kinds of meat on it. She just thought it would be a taco with a few different slices of meat on it, not a big burrito with a pork chop on top.
Yeah.
And she loved the pork chop.
Yeah. And I think I ate the other half of her taco.
Yes.
So it all worked out.
You definitely did.
Oh shoot. So that was that.
That was
And last Friday, I think we talked about how the Travesia Sagrada got like postponed basically.
Very windy.
Yeah,
very
and that's the Mayan sacred journey that they do once a year, and they have all these canoeists, I
Yeah.
guess, recreate this Mayan tradition of canoeing across the channel over to Cozumel to pay homage to what is like the fertility god. I can't remember what it's like, Echel or something. It's like XCHEL. So they do this whole like kind of celebration or whatever. And I think like we were talking about last episode, we got up at 3 a.m.
Yep. We did.
We were out of the house by 3:30.
We were.
And we were there by like 3:50, I think.
Yeah. We got up and got moving. I
Yeah.
didn't think we were going to do that, but we did.
The night before I was thinking about it, I'm like, okay, well, and you know, I got up at 3 a.m. for fucking 7 years in Atlanta for the radio, but
but it's been a minute.
yeah. So the night before I was like, okay, I can't imagine waking up at 3 a.m. and then an hour later being at an amusement park or at a like nature park. Or
Yeah.
whatever. So
Yep.
I was like, but it happened.
Better than being at work.
Yeah. So, so we get there, and last year it was a little different. This year, last year we went in, and it's pitch black. Obviously, they have certain parts of the park shut off, so they kind of lead you this way. And we went into this area where there was a Mayan village, and it was just crazy. It was like all these ladies, and they had things for sale or whatever.
Yeah.
We just thought it was like a recreation, but then they give us a handful of beans.
Yep.
And we could buy things with the beans. So I bought some tamales,
Yep.
and you bought a pineapple. So we were so stoked for that. And we go through this whole, you know, kind of weaving through the park, and there's no Mayan village.
No.
Yeah.
No pineapple. No piña.
But they have this in a cove on the ocean, obviously, and they have all the canoes lined up. It's pitch black. They have like 2 or 3 little tiny bleachers set up in the back, and then everybody else is on the sand in front, like in front of, you know, there's a rope and everything for the canoeist to be on the other side. And at a certain point, they tell everyone to sit down.
Yeah.
And you got to sit on the sand for like 2 hours. And you know, we got there at 4. The show didn't start. What's it start at? Like 5:30, maybe?
Yeah, whenever
'Cause
the
it's
sun rises, like.
Well, it was dark when, I mean, the sun was rising as they were leaving.
True.
So,
Yeah, it starts early in that. Yeah, probably like 5.
I mean, it's pitch black when
Yeah.
this is happening. And we got bleacher seats this year. That's what we
We
really
did.
wanted. We're like, we got to get in. But the line was out the door when we got there. I was like, hey, we ain't getting
I
bleachers.
was like, we're not getting seats or
No.
any kind of close, but we did.
No.
We were looking around for a while. There were some people moving. I think people just didn't know where to go, and they wanted to sit on the sand and be closer to like the actors and everything. But we found some spots.
Yeah, so we got spots. It's super crowded. And they told everyone to sit down. And there's always these people that don't fucking listen to anybody.
I know.
And luckily, the people that we were sitting around were elderly, and they were on, the lower levels of the bleachers. And so there's people that are still standing even after all the staff told everybody, like, hey, sit down so everybody can see and everything. And luckily they were, not quiet about it. They're like, hey, sit down. Like, you can't see.
I love the little grandma sitting in front of us. They were like, por favor, like, sit down. And he was like, meh.
Yeah. Nobody has any self-awareness.
No.
I mean, there's a million things I could bring up that we've encountered here. But like, for instance, we're on the bleachers. The crowd is so big, there's only like a one-person lane in front of the bleachers for people to walk back and forth by.
Yep.
And this woman comes in with her 2 kids or something and sits down right in that lane.
Yeah.
And then people are like trying to walk on the sand and like tripping over her and shit. And I just don't understand why nobody cares about anybody else. And it's not even just, I mean, it's being just courteous to other people, but you're sitting there getting stepped over. Like, didn't you realize, like, oh, this might be a bad idea?
Probably isn't the best place to sit. That lady on her face was, I don't care. There's nowhere else I can go. I'm going to sit right here. And that's where she stayed. I feel bad for the people right behind her. Their feet were there and she's probably sitting on their feet. But they were pretty much sitting on our feet in the bleachers. Yeah. The little girl was like leaning up against my shins the whole time, like me.
Yeah, so weird, but really great show. They do
phenomenal show.
Like these dances, and they have like the Mayan guys come out, and they have like these Mayan women.
Everybody's painted, and they have all the jewelry and beads on, and they're doing all these dramatic dances.
Drums.
Oh, it's wonderful.
Yeah, super cool. And then all of the canoeists come out and everybody starts losing their mind because it's like, I think I said this last year, it reminds me of a marathon. Like, you train for this marathon for 6 months, and then when you go to the actual race, all your friends and family come up and they have water, and they take pictures, and they have signs and flags and everything like that. It's like that. Everybody came to cheer on their family.
It really is. They're hugging and kissing and taking selfies and all that. We're like, oh, we wish we knew somebody.
Yeah. Well, I tried to do it, but they didn't email me last year. So I'm going to be more persistent about it this year and see if I can do it.
I think you should. You might be a little too. I wanted to say you're a little too gringo, but there were gringos there.
That's what I thought too. I'm analyzing everyone. I was like, he's kind of light, but he might be from Venezuela.
And my thing is too, I'm shocked at all the ages and body sizes. There's teeny tiny little women, and there's giant dudes and giant women and giant, tiny guys at every shape, size, grandmas, younger people. I don't know how they put each person on a team, but I hope it's even.
Yeah. I'm sure they think about that. Hopefully they think about that. But yeah, the area is really cool. They have this giant woman or Mayan statue person, like kind of draining water out of a bowl or something into it's like a fountain, basically, like into the ocean. So after the show, you and we went and did my beer chug, and we always bring like a cooler full of beers and some snacks. We brought
Don't tell anybody.
We made tortas, and we had like some breakfast stuff. I can't remember what we had. Maybe some
we had a whole
croissants.
day planned.
Yeah, so we had everything ready to go. We had weed gummies. So we'd go and do the beer chug, and then we're sitting over on this kind of like palapa area by the restaurant, and this little, is it capybara or capybara?
Capybara, I think.
That's how we say it.
Yeah.
Maybe they say capybara.
Yeah,
probably.
I don't know.
Anyway, people know what I'm talking about. This little guy just comes running out of the bush, I guess.
He was so tiny with his little hoofs, his little feet. Bing, 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 bing.
And then we went to a different area, and we saw the coati, the little kind of Mexican raccoons. And they were just wandering around. And then we looked up in the sky, and we saw all these macaws flying, like the big fucking parrots.
I heard them. I was like, those are parrots. And we look up. There's red ones and green ones, and they're all flying around. It looked like the movie Rio, like all the little parrots, the Pixar movie, running, flying around.
Yeah. There's the tapir was out. The like iguanas are everywhere. It was just a very active day.
Yeah, and I was shocked because it was very hot. So
true.
I'm shocked they were out.
Since the show ends, it ended like 6:30, I think.
Yeah, it was early.
Because I remember, because the park opens at 8:30, and that's the great thing is we get 2 hours in the park with nobody there.
Yeah.
So we're like hanging out there.
Just the special passes.
Yeah. So we had eaten our gummies, and we went into the lagoon or the beach, I guess, where they took off from, and there's the big Mayan statue. And so we go over to it, I was like, let's go get a picture with it.
Yeah.
And we get around it, and we realize big old Mayan titties. Big old grandma Mayan titties.
That's the first thing that popped in my head. I was like, this is a lady.
Yeah. I got to say, for her age, they look fantastic.
She looked great. Very tan, very
Yes.
nice.
Shoot. But it was fun. It was a good experience as usual. If you're ever in town in May, it's like usually towards second or third week of May.
Yeah. Or
Definitely go to it.
Anytime you're in town, go to Eshkaret. It's a wonderful day. It's lots of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Swimming and snorkeling and animals and reptiles and butterflies.
Right.
All sorts of stuff.
Yeah. We were at the track earlier today.
Yep.
And you go and you start doing your laps, and I start stretching, and I see this giant iguana walk across the basketball court. And I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And took a video of him or whatever. Then I go do a lap, and I come back, and I see the iguana is in this kind of, it's like I don't know, how would you describe it?
Like a manhole or like an electrical cover?
It's like a square
sewer
manhole.
cover?
It's for
Yeah.
sewer.
Yeah.
And this one happens to be broke, like many of them here.
Yes.
And
Just the corner.
and the iguana had its head in there. And so I'm trying to think, like, what's it doing in there? Like, is it
fishing?
Is it trying? Yeah, right. Is it fishing? Is it just trying to get cool? But they're cold blooded, so that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Maybe it was trying to drink water or whatever. But I'm like, oh fuck, this thing's stuck.
Oh.
So I'm like, all right. So I catch up to you on the track, and I was like, hey, I'm gonna go and try to get this iguana unstuck. Please come record me, because it's either going to be great, I'm going to save the day, or I'm going to run away screaming like a little girl when he comes out, like scratching him.
I love when you come up to me with stuff. We're just power walking. You're like, hey, I need your help. I'm going to save this iguana. I'm like, what?
Yeah. So I get, you come over and you get the camera.
Yep.
And I get ready, and I'm like, okay, got it filmed. Okay, here I go. So I have a sweat towel, and I'm going to put it over him so I'm not touching him in case he has diseases or something.
Like, do not touch him.
And I go and I just kind of wave the towel over him a little bit to see if he moves, because I didn't know if he was going to start like right away or what.
I thought he was going to fly at me.
Yeah.
Like, no.
So I push him a little bit, and like a fly comes out of the thing, bzzz, out of the sewer, and I push him again, and I realize there's like juice coming out of his butt. Yeah. And I was like, oh no. Godzilla.
Juicy butt.
Godzilla.
Godzilla.
Oh, shoot. So I tried to do a good deed, and it was his time. And it wasn't the same guy, actually. I realized later it was not the same iguana. It just one had happened to walk by, and then this one clearly was there for a couple of days.
That wasn't your friend from earlier. That was a different guy.
No, yeah. He's still going.
Your heart was in the right place.
I was trying.
It was.
Yeah. Or does it not count because I was filming it?
No, true.
You know? Yeah.
Probably. But we were filming for good reason. He probably would have freaked out or something,
Yeah.
you know?
Actually, that's a good point, because I remember a story that I'd seen on one of the like the expat groups or whatever, and this guy had filmed this dude, I can't remember, homeless guy or whatever, down on his luck, or he's just drunk. You know, some people, you know, we walk at like 7 a.m. and you see some drunk dude just laying on the bench or whatever.
It happens. Beach town.
So he was laying down there, and this guy filmed from his apartment, and he sees he was, you know, kind of just all sandy, laying on the sidewalk or whatever, just hung over, drunk, passed out, whatnot. So he goes down there, and he gives him, I think it was like a shirt and something else, and he had some pesos that he had put in the shirt pocket of the shirt that he gave him. He gave him some clothes and money and everything.
That's so sweet.
And he posted on there, and of course he gets all the backlash of like, oh, you can't, of course you filmed it, you know, it doesn't count now, and, you know, whatever. So
All right.
yeah, so I don't know. How do you feel about that? About people filming themselves doing a good deed? Does that make it not a good deed anymore?
I mean, if it's real and your heart was in the right place, who cares if you're filming it or not? You're still doing a good deed. You're helping someone in need. If you need to film it in order to do that good deed, go for it. Or I kind of look at it as in a positive way. This is kind of setting the bar, or like setting an example for people.
Yeah.
Look, I saw this
Inspiring
guy.
other people to maybe do the same.
I knew he was struggling. You could just walk by. How many people and dogs and things do we walk by and can't help? He saw this guy and obviously knew he needed help, so he went down and helped. Maybe he was recording himself for security purposes, just in case something happened or whatever. But no, I mean, you can tell the people that are doing it for the likes or to be fake or whatever, but if you're helping someone out and filming it, who cares? You're still helping someone.
Yeah. Then that was my point when I commented on it, and I was like, it doesn't change what had happened.
Yeah.
Just because he was filming
It wasn't fake.
It didn't change the purpose. If you thought he was doing it for a specific reason, for likes or shares or whatever, then that's on you. If you interpret it that way, then, sorry, but that doesn't mean this guy's intent.
Right.
Just because he filmed himself doing it, I don't know. Yeah, like you said, it spreads, it's like the pay it forward kind of thing.
Yeah.
Maybe somebody else will see that, oh, that's a great idea. And the same thing with those bigger TikTok accounts or Instagram accounts where they film themselves helping out a homeless person or just somebody down on their luck or whatever.
Like that guy that takes the construction workers to Disney World.
Yeah, or like skydiving.
But all of his viewers are giving him money, sponsoring him to help these people. So what's the difference there?
Yeah, they make so it's definitely like a business. Obviously, they make money themselves, I'm sure, but the reason that they can do that, like Mr. Beast, like the reason he can do all those things is because of all the views and all the money, the ad rev that he makes off of it. And then he uses that as, like, oh, we're going to give $10,000 away to this person or that person. They couldn't do that without sharing it. So it's literally the reason that they're able to do it. So I don't really have a problem with it.
I don't have a problem with it. If you find,
if it was
if it's fake, then that's on you. But this is people helping people.
Yeah. The ones I would say is like, if it's, I don't know, it's usually not like a bigger TikTok, maybe something that's more middle size and they're trying to copy that process, I guess.
Yeah.
And they'll like give them something and then they'll do like a selfie, be like, hey, this is from the blah, 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 TikTok or whatever.
Yeah.
Then it's like, okay.
Yeah. Now you're being douchey about it.
Yeah. It's like when you got to get your face in it and do it like with them, like, hey, look, I'm giving, this homeless guy, a t-shirt or whatever. Like that's not what he was doing. He was just capturing the moment of a good deed.
I'd say it's okay to film it, but let's just have a little class about ourselves.
Right.
These people,
they're still people.
They're still people. They're still down on their luck. Your little sandwich or a couple bucks is going to help them get through that day, but it's not a solution to whatever their problem is. So let's just, take it easy on each other.
And I get like one of the guys was on this thread was complaining. He's like, this guy didn't ask to be on the internet or this or that, which I guess you could maybe argue that. But this guy is also laying in the middle of the street, passed out drunk, or in the middle of the sidewalk. So he's not that concerned about his online persona. Exactly. I don't think, if he's laying around in public drunk.
I like that one account. It's like the Good News movement, and they do things like that. They'll post different videos, and people are still leaving comments and giving them shit. But at the same time, I think sometimes it helps them find their family members or friends or people that didn't know what happened to them or couldn't find them anymore because they have no resources, and they see them again on there, and then they can get, even more help from their friends.
Yeah. It's just weird that people assume filming somebody getting help is like derogatory towards them or like demeaning, but it's the same thing as people during Christmas going and volunteering at a food shelter or whatever. It's not, you're not demeaning them by helping them. Right. Just because it's online or whatever. Like this guy was in an expat group. He was just trying to say, hey, look, this guy needed some help. I helped him out, you know, and maybe somebody else pays it forward also.
And another thing, companies, most companies do that when you're in an office setting or any of that. You volunteer around the holidays, you take a picture, you donate toys. Everybody does it. It doesn't discredit the help.
Or like when we do the Chancla Fest and we're giving away like sandals and stuff to the kids, and I'm usually the one that makes the video for the organization, and I felt a little weird filming them like, hey, look, here's Alexis handing shoes to this underprivileged person.
Right.
I feel a little weird about it, but it seems like mostly they're like, I don't care. I just need some fucking shoes. Exactly. I don't give a shit like about your fucking online bullshit.
And you know what your videos do for charitablетourism.com and all those Chancla Fests? It brings awareness to the issue, and it helps us get donations from people and friends and money and resources to give to these people. Otherwise, if you just say, hey, I help out some, less fortunate within Quintana Roo, you're like, cool. If you see this video of us putting little shoes on children and they're so happy to receive them, that's going to have a bigger impact. So I'm a filmer.
Yeah, exactly. Same. Well, and then it also struck up another conversation in my head. I was up late. So like I'm thinking about these
As
things.
always. I'm snoozing at 9:00. You're like up changing the world.
Right. No, well, not that. But another thing I noticed, and I'm just as guilty of this, judging people doing this, but the selfie versus the front-facing camera.
Oh.
Like it's kind of that judgmental thing. Like these people are judging this guy for filming the whatever. If you see somebody on the beach, especially a girl, not even just a beach, anywhere basically, and they're taking selfies and they're like posing and stuff. I mean, I'm just as guilty. I'll be sitting on the beach and I see a girl doing that and be like, so into herself. Like,
or you'll be like, you
so
look
vain,
stupid.
so vain. But if this girl was standing there and she said, hey, can you come take a picture of me, and took a picture of her in front of the ocean, nobody would say anything.
Right.
So it's so weird that the selfie era has brought on everybody thinking that somebody taking a photo of themselves somewhere is vain.
Yeah.
And you know, I just don't get that, because, and I guess I do it too, but I just don't understand that this is weird, but this is not weird.
Yeah.
You know, just because if somebody else is taking a picture of you, it's automatically fine. But, you know, you're conceited or self-absorbed if you're taking a selfie.
I think selfies now are a little more accepted, but I know what you're saying. When we see people, we see it a lot here. There's a lot of selfies going on. There's a lot of beautiful backgrounds. If there's a couple you're taking, that's fine. It's the women and the men that are there taking a full-on photo shoot that we usually have a problem with. We're like, get out of our way. You're blocking the ocean because you're doing this 100 times. Take it and go. Let's go.
Yeah.
And some of our favorite photos of us or other situations are the selfies. I love the selfies when we're in a group and, you know, everybody's kind of staggered behind. Those are some of my favorite pictures because it's fun. It's funny. You're like fitting into like a new age photo booth or something.
Yeah, we're not like at the old timey photos at the fair, all just sitting there with our shotguns and like, oh, just stand there for 30 minutes and don't move.
So how many photos do we have of all of us just standing there with like our 90s elbow, or just standing like,
and it looks
what
weird.
do I do?
But it's funny because like I make fun of the girls today that how they do their poses. They're like, don't look at the camera, lift your ankle up, and then stare at your shoe. You know, it's just like I mean, it looks more artsy, I guess. I guess our photos do look more old, but yeah, I think you got a good point that it's not the selfie or the reverse or just the normal camera. It's how long it takes you to do it.
Right.
Because we walk up to something, we turn around, cheese, take the selfie, done. But if a girl's out there going, turning her head and posing and taking 50 photos, then you're like, idiot.
We're like, all right.
But on the flip side, if you're taking a front facing or forward facing camera picture, if I'm just taking it of you one time, no big deal. But if you're on the beach and you're like posing and crawling and grabbing your butt and doing all these different things, you're like, all right, she's an idiot too. Yeah. So it's the pose. That's what it is. If it's too many poses and takes too long, then you get conceited. You
got a time limit, because we do see a lot of amateur photo shoots on the beach here, and we're just like, whoa, please stop. We're like crawling on the beach and all sorts of stuff.
But anybody out there, if you're doing a good deed, fucking film it.
Yeah, just film it. We want to see. We need some positivity all over social media for sure.
Let's see. What else do we do? Oh, it's Memorial Day weekend, which is nothing here.
Yes. We sometimes we do a little if cookout or whatever is going on. Maybe
not for Memorial Day here in Mexico, but I mean, we acknowledge it, but it's not a holiday here. So my mom was like, she was here, obviously is here for it. And she was like, it didn't feel like a holiday. And I was like, well, what were you going to do at home? Like, grill out, go to the pool or the lake, and do what? I was like, that's what we do like every day here with her.
Exactly.
It's like we go to the beach or the pool and we go out to dinner. So it's like but we have talked about that there are a lot of holidays that don't feel like holidays here.
Right.
And it's not, I mean, part of it is not everybody celebrates all of our holidays, but also it's hot here. So like Christmas doesn't feel like Christmas. Thanksgiving and Halloween, they don't feel the same because it's not that weather that we used to.
And it's not like plastered everywhere. You go home and you expect to see that in Publix, wherever. You're going to see red, white, and blue cupcakes and balloons and signage and all that. Here, we're just it's another day. It's just a Monday.
But it's okay. And you know what?
That's okay.
Nobody cares that we celebrate our holidays here.
No.
And I think that's weird, or it's weird, like what's that Instagram account, Georgia GA followers or whatever.
Yeah, we love that
like all the
one.
Atlanta stuff.
Yeah.
So they have stickers, and they had a GA follower one or a GA sticker, and it had the colors of the Colombian flag. Like they make all different ones. They have a Mexico one, US one, Georgia or UGA one.
Nice.
But there's a Colombian one, and they're like, oh, we got like how many stickers left? And some guy or a couple of people commented, and it was like, oh, if you want to live in that country, then go live there. Don't try to celebrate it here or something like that. And it's just like,
can we not be all inclusive now? Like,
Yeah.
just include
Well, I mean,
everyone. Who cares?
it doesn't even have to be. It doesn't affect you at all.
Yeah.
It's okay. Do you think other people from other countries don't celebrate, quinceañeras or their country's Independence Day or whatever? It might not be a
Exactly.
big celebration in the U.S., but Colombians probably celebrate their Independence Day there,
Yep.
or some other holiday that maybe we don't celebrate. That's okay.
I don't understand why people seek out to be upset now. You're looking at somebody's online store of stickers and you're pissed off that there's a Colombian background on one of them. Why? Why does that affect you? Do you have nothing better to do with your life?
Yeah.
Because I got way more important things to do than
Right?
worry
And
about that.
Another guy was like, "Oh, it'll be easier to spot the illegals or something." And
Oh my
I was like,
God.
"Why do people think if you are from a different country, you're illegal?
Yeah.
Like that's not, or if you have darker skin or whatever, that doesn't mean you're fucking
We
illegal."
know a lot of people in the United States that are not from there, and they are legally there.
Yeah.
It's there. It can be done.
Yeah, it's so weird, but yeah, let everybody celebrate whatever they want.
Yeah.
I mean, within reason, obviously. But if it's their culture, they can celebrate wherever. It doesn't. You don't have to be in that country to celebrate that country. Do you think people that live in Europe or something from the United States don't celebrate 4th of July? I'm
Right?
sure they do something, at least barbecue or something.
We do here.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, we do the same thing
You
here.
know what? It's the people that are knocking down these other celebrations and parties. Those are the people that hate their birthday. I'm convinced. They hate their birthday. They don't want to celebrate it. Why wouldn't you want to celebrate your birthday or any other celebration? There's always food and fun and games and friends and presents sometimes. So who cares?
Yeah.
Celebrate everything.
Yeah, who gives a fuck.
Do your thing.
Exactly. Oh, I did think it was funny when we had some friends up to the pool this weekend, and what was that girl? Can't remember her name, but she was from Canada.
Elizabeth.
Yeah,
Yes.
and we were talking about the Iowa State Fair for some reason, and she goes, "Oh, I've heard about that." And I was like,
Yeah, we were like, are you
"What?
shitting us?
You heard about that?"
Are
I
you
mean, I
sure?
guess we border. I mean, U.S.
Yeah.
borders Canada, so maybe she has.
some family there.
Oh, did she?
Yeah, she has
Oh,
family
that
in
makes
Iowa.
sense. I was
That's
like,
why.
"Dang, what's
Yeah.
up?" Oh, you just stole my thunder.
Yep. Sorry.
Yeah. But it was funny. Also, my dad, since my mom's down here, he's up there by himself, so he's trying to find stuff to do, going to watch Indy 500 with some friends, and at our neighborhood golf course or whatever, they have a little creek that runs through the middle of it, and they do duck races. So he's like,
Ooh.
"I'm going to the duck races," and I was like, "What the fuck is that?"
And this is like squeaky duck.
Yeah, like
bath
rubber
time,
ducky.
Rubber ducky. Okay. I
Yeah.
was like, ducks.
So I was like, "What the fuck is that?" And they take 10 rubber ducks and they write little numbers on them, and they take them from the top of the creek and they throw them in there, and then they have a string down at the bottom, and then they have different heats, and you bet $1 per duck, and you can win the pot or first, second, third.
My God, I love Iowa. If it didn't get super duper cold, I would live there.
Same.
It's just the best people ever.
Yeah,
Same.
it is. It's the simple things.
It is. I want to go duck racing. Maybe we could start that here.
Yeah, we could.
That
We
would be-
should.
We should.
Yeah, where would we do it at though? This is in the
Ashcraft?
ocean. Yeah, I guess we'd have to.
We
Yeah.
need a river. We need to borrow your lazy
Yeah.
river.
Well, there's no rivers here, so.
Yeah. Well, the underground cenote rivers.
Oh right, yeah, that's where it'd have to. Yeah, we'd have to toss them in a cenote, and they'd have to pop out in the ocean. or
Yeah,
something.
they'd pop out somewhere at the end. That'd be
Ooh, that
great.
would be fun. Maybe Chela de Playa, because they have the little cenote in
Oh, yeah.
the patio area.
You'd have to do it at the one side of the street and then would pop out over on their side with the turtles.
Yeah, that would be cool. And then Sunday we went to brunch, and we do this all you can eat. Oh no, sorry, not all you can eat, all you can drink.
Yes.
The brunch is, I can't remember how much it is, like $15 or something. But
Yeah.
then you can add all you can drink mimosas and margaritas and daiquiris and pina coladas
Trouble.
for
Every
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. But it's just such a good deal.
It is. I mean, their drinks aren't the cheapest, so it makes more sense to get the most bang for your buck.
Because it's 299 pesos, which is like $16, $17 probably
Yeah.
for the unlimited for 2 hours. But one mimosa is like 150 pesos. So you drink 2 and you're getting your money's worth. So you're like,
Exactly.
might as well get them all.
And everyone at home listening right now is like, you pay $17 for unlimited mimosas. We're paying like $50 here
True.
right now.
Yeah. Yeah. So we drank the mimosas for a couple hours.
Mm-hmm.
Then we went up to the pool.
Mm-hmm.
Then we went down to the apartment.
Mm-hmm.
And I fell asleep about 5:36.
This is your second time this month
I know.
that you fell asleep super duper early after a long drinking day.
And when I say 5:36, like I woke up the next day,
Yes.
like 5:36 p.m. And then I woke up at like 9 a.m. the next day. I was so confused. I was like, oh my God, did I get super drunk and passed out? I mean, which I kind of did, I guess. But I was like doing that the next day forensics on
Yes.
your phone.
Because I'm still sleeping. So
yeah.
you're like, what happened? What's
So
going
I
on?
look at my photos. What's the last photo I've taken? What time was it? I'm looking at my text messages. Did I say anything stupid? Is anybody like, hey, Nate, sorry, you broke this. Make sure you remember. Like I'm looking at all these clues to try to figure out if I embarrassed myself or not. Which I was like, I don't remember embarrassing myself because I wasn't like
No.
hammered or anything. It's just drinking in the sun all day.
And it's so
gets ya.
hot right now. It's like the
It was
heat
108
index-
today.
Yeah, it feels like 108.
Yeah, it
or-
feels like.
Oh my God, it's so hot. You can barely do anything without sweating. But I I always try and text you now because usually I pass out. I'm the early to bed and you stay up doing God knows
Early
what.
to rise.
Early to rise. Early to bed, early to rise. Got to work on my beauty sleep, beauty rest. Anyway, so yeah, I'm usually the one that passes out. So when you pass out and I'm still awake, I kind of don't know what to do. I just do all my girly stuff, but I usually try and message you. This is what happened. You have extra food here, blah, blah, blah. Or so I just give you like the rundown of the last things that happened. So when you wake up, you don't panic. And I think I messaged you something about a burger, but that was as far as I got
Yeah.
that night. But you're funny when you get up, when you pass out early like that and then get up. It's always random. You'll get up and eat a burger or get some water and then go back to sleep. It's like you're sleepwalking in between your drunken slumber.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, because I don't remember. And I think I was just more tired than
Yeah.
actually drunk.
Oh,
know?
yeah. By then we were fine.
Yeah. But man, I can't believe I slept that long.
Yep.
It was crazy.
I think you needed it.
I was having crazy dreams.
Oh,
I don't remember what they were.
no.
But
This is 40. I had crazy dreams. I don't remember 'em.
I dreamt I drank 2 hours worth of mimosas. It was crazy.
And that's it.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's about it. What do we got going on this weekend? Anything?
It's going to be a little more tame of a weekend, I think.
Yeah. We do. When are we going to the fishing boat thing? That's next weekend or the following weekend,
That's
right?
Monday. Yeah, following weekend. That's on a Monday. We'll be doing that. And then your mom's gone. And what else are we going to do?
I don't know. I felt like we had something going on this Friday. Well, I don't know. I'm sure we'll do something fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's always something. Sometimes I like the weekends where we don't have a lot of things planned. We can
Yeah, because
just-
then random shit happens.
Yeah. There's always something that happens here.
Yeah.
There's always something.
Oh, our
to do.
friend Wanda did say she was going to start doing some pickling, that we could go over there and do that if we want.
I did see that message. Very random. Or put in your orders. I'd like some orders. Pickles or carrots or
I
something.
would too. Well, I hope everybody had a safe Memorial Day weekend.
Yes.
And you don't say happy, correct?
Right, I
And
guess so.
it is only people that have passed. So it's knows thank you for your
I got
services.
schooled for that.
Yeah, I know, and I know it, and I know you know it, but
Yeah.
it's like somebody we know does it every year. But what do you say? I mean, I will say Happy Memorial Day weekend because you want people to have a great weekend.
Yeah.
But I don't know how you say, like, have a good Memorial Day.
I saw signs that say Happy Memorial Day. Like remember those who served, or I don't know.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
We say Happy Memorial Day in my family. So.
Blasphemy. Terrible.
I'm still gonna
Terrible.
say that. I'll just start saying Memorial Day. That's all I'm gonna say. Not happy.
Yeah.
Just Memorial
Yeah.
Day.
Enjoy your Memorial Day
Yeah.
weekend.
Today, or maybe just remind a friend, today is Memorial Day. And they'll be like, yes.
Yeah. But yeah, so I hope everybody had I hope everybody enjoyed their Memorial Day
Yes, there you
weekend. If you have relatives that were in the service that lost their lives, please thank you for their service.
Thank you.
You can say that, right? Thank you
Yes.
for their service if they have passed.
Thank you for their
Okay.
service. Those are the people we're supposed to thank for their service.
Yeah,
because
my
they have
grandfather,
passed.
your grandfather,
Yeah.
uncles, aunts,
Mhm.
people.
people.
Thank
All
you.
the people.
Thank you. Well, thank you for listening. Please, if you enjoy what you're hearing, support the podcast. Buymeacoffee.com/Hansons on hiatus. You can buy us some virtual beers, which we will happily drink. And also, don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, Spotify, YouTube, Instagram, iTunes, YouTube Music at Hansons on hiatus. All right. I hope you all have a great, safe rest of your weekend. Happy Friday, fuckers.
Happy Friday, fuckies.
That's it. Thanks for listening. Goodbye for now. Bye.